Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and the Bulldog Nation, in the center of the Kentucky business COVID battle in Kentucky has been the Beans Cafe and Bakery in Grant County, Kentucky. There's been stories about it, reports about it. They were defiant and stayed open. With me today is Mark Hansel, managing editor of the Bulldog Reports, and he has been sent to him some Freedom of Information Act documents. But first, Mark Hansel, will you please just tell everybody, those that may not be aware of it, what was the stand that the Beans Cafe and Bakery took, and how was that played out?
Well, basically what they wanted to do initially was just stay in business. You know, margins,
imagine that!
I know, right? Margins are so thin in restaurants, as you know. Most media won't even do a story on a new restaurant until it's been open for a year, because a lot of them close in the first year. Well, when they announced that you couldn't have indoor dining, Beans said, you know, we have to. And, you know, Dry Ridge is a smaller community. It's not like, you know, Covington, where you have restaurants everywhere and options. You know, it's a community center. So, you know, they basically said, thank you for continuing your patronage and support while we fight for our constitutional right to earn a living.
So they stayed open? They stayed open. Have they stayed open continuously till today?
They have. And in fact, the restrictions stopped on December 13th, and, you know, the charges against them have since been dropped, which...
Did the state take action to try to revoke their permits and licenses?
They actually did revoke their permits and licenses.
And they still
stayed open anyway. Yeah.
Ha ha! Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Civil disobedience.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. You know, you have to stand up for yourself at times like this.
Now, you were sent some documents,
right,
that were requested from who?
From the Northern Kentucky Health Department.
Okay. And these were related to their actions against the Beans Cafe? Right.
Primarily emails, conversations between citizens, elected officials, reporters.
What is the cream of them? Give us the good stuff. What is in those documents that Bulldog Nation might find interesting?
Well, one thing is some of the conversations within the health department and some of the media.
Are they anti-Beans Cafe?
Absolutely.
How dare they defy us?
Exactly. And, you know, even elected officials, Savannah Maddox, Damon Thayer, went to Beans, you know, separately, according to, you know, Savannah.
For those who don't know, Savannah Maddox is a state rep representing
Grant County.
And Damon Thayer is a state senator representing Grant County.
Right. Well, he's Georgetown. Yeah, sure. And, you know, they as I understand it, they showed up separately. Saw each other there. Not unusual for somebody who lives in Grant County to go to Beans, and certainly not unusual for, you know, a state senator who goes throughout the county showing up there. And the one that caught my attention was from a a PIO, a public information officer at the health department, saying, "This is what we're up against: elected officials who are proud to flaunt defying the requirement needing indoors at a restaurant whose permit has been yanked. Lord, give me patience, because if you give me strength, I'm likely to need bail money to go along with that." And then, by the way, she posted this on Facebook and Twitter. No way this was unplanned. Both happened to just show up at Beans at the same time.
Who cares if it was planned?
Right. And you know, I don't know that it's her place or anyone's place to question elected officials who we put our trust in. I believe Damon.
Nothing like bureaucracy.
Exactly.
Now, is there anything in there about Julia Fair?
Well, as you know,
who, for full disclosure, I cannot stand.
And I'm always reluctant to call out other reporters, but I will say, regarding the Savannah Maddox post, Julia Fair sent a request to the health department at 9:45, and within an hour there was a comment from the health department, an internal email suggesting that, you know, what I just told you about, you know, and she wants to know, has the health department seen the post? What does the health department think of a state legislator defying the ban? Are there any enforcement actions? And, you know, this couldn't have, it's a reach to suggest this happened independently. That the health department officials just happened to see this Savannah Maddox post at the same time that this reporter saw.
So there's a little coincidence.
I would say, and by that afternoon,
this is a classic example, in my opinion, of a complete disconnect from government bureaucracy and real world. These health district people are getting paid by taxpayer dollars while restaurants get shut down everywhere.
Absolutely.
Governor Andy Beshear gets paid while he's trying to destroy everybody. But I crack up at the people, the number of people who just think that all this is necessary.
Well, and by early afternoon, there was a story about this, and the response from the health department official was, "Great story on beans. It looks like you're able to get in touch with Hey-Ho." Now,
so they complimented this story. The health district complimented Julia Fair's story.
And I don't ever recall somebody saying great story. Somebody might say you did a good job. I had a conversation with Cindy Arlinghouse Martin, the Boone County PVA, one time, which she brings up every time I see her. And she says, "You told me one time, if people like your story, if one side likes it and one side doesn't, you're not doing your job. If both sides like it, you're not doing your job." They might say great, they might say you've done a good job, you've been fair, but great story suggests a bias.
So you think Julia Fair in the Enquirer, doesn't shock me, we're basically in the health district camp.
I think when you look at it, they had the comments from the health department.
Imagine that, because you can't read the Enquirer is all about COVID.
Right, and they didn't have any quotes from Damon or Savannah, Senator Thayer or Representative Maddox. They said that they said they were there because they support restaurants staying open. Well, if I'm going to call somebody out, I'm going to get in touch with them, and I can. And the reason for that is I know these people. Like you say, spend time in the communities. Damon Thayer I've known for years, and I don't know Representative Maddox as well, but we went down to Beans. We videoed. Chris Weiss, the attorney, was there, the attorney for Beans.
Chris Weiss has done an outstanding job fighting for the little guys and the business owners in this state.
Mr. Hey-Ho was there, the owner, of course, he's going to be there, and Savannah Maddox was there, and they talked for, I don't know, I think the video was 30 minutes. We posted it on our site. They didn't have, there's a trust there, and I tell anybody that I come into contact with, I want to be clear, I'm not your friend. I want a relationship built on trust and understanding, but
these restaurant restrictions are ridiculous. If masks work, everybody should allow to be able to wear a mask, socially distance, and stay the hell open. If masks don't work, then what's the point? And then we got the silliness of wearing a mask through a lobby of a restaurant, and then you sit down and you can take your mask off. And then you had the silliness where they let them set up inside, outside. People like Walt's Hitching Post, Greyhound Grill, I know the owners. They set up these tents, which are inside. Outside was okay, but you couldn't be inside. I get so sick and tired, Mark, of them talking about the science. It's all stupid. It isn't science. It's a complete lack of common sense. Well, all they did was destroy this economy.
And Mr. Hey-Ho went to great lengths to show me what they do to ensure, the sanity and protocol, sanitizing and protocols are being sanitized.
Well, I think they're heroes.
I think,
I think Beans Cafe and Bakery are heroes. I'm ashamed that I haven't gotten down there to eat. I need to go down there. But I'm telling you right now, they're heroes for standing up and fighting.
Well, it's a community center, and when you look at
Chris Weiss is a hero too for representing them.
When you look at the statistics about which, statistics can say anything you want them to say, but Kentucky is so diverse. You've got metropolitan areas, you've got rural communities. These restaurants like this, they provide some of the few jobs in some of these counties, and they are community centers. And if you tell people in that area you can't go to Beans, or maybe in Hazard or somewhere you can't go to a restaurant, that's like their only option. Same way with grocery stores.
It's been proven lockdowns and shutdowns have the ripple effect is far worse than COVID. Economically, psychologically, mentally. You have Vegas opening up schools because of suicide problem.
Right.
I mean, I can't fathom we adults have a hard enough time dealing with this. I can't imagine little kids and teenagers, the problems they have. Mark, thanks for coming in for the interview. Let's stay on it. God bless beans.
Great.
Any final comments you think that the public needs to know?
No, I just think, you know, you need to be careful about government overreach, and the idea that we need to make sure that the powers are more evenly distributed in Frankfort is very important, and I think that's what the legislature is working towards.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.